Welcome to the farm.
Welcome back to the farm. I'm Dana, and today we're making garlic powder from the garlic that we harvested from our garden this summer. So Cadence and I the other day went through, I don't remember how many bulbs we did, but we grew like I think 200 bulbs of garlic, so I think it's probably at least half of that. And we peeled off all our individual cloves of garlic. But we're still left with these little skins or papers that are wrapped around them. And in the past, what I've done is I've just used my fingers and I've individually peeled them all off. Not the best method. Your fingers hurt, they smell like garlic for days, and it's just a very time-consuming process. Not something I want to do or have the time for. So I came across this method that has worked really well last year. I'm going to try it again this year, see if I get the same results. And what you do is you take your garlic cloves with the skins on, put it in a blender or a food processor, and you blend it all up with the skins on. And then you spread it on a grate for your dehydrator, and you dehydrate the skins and the garlic. I do have a couple cloves in here that is called elephant garlic. So you can kind of see here, they are massive cloves as opposed to your traditional garlic. So these I will peel just because it's a lot easier to peel something that's a lot bigger than these little tiny cloves. I know it probably seems really silly that I took the time to peel this, and yet I'm putting peeled or unpeeled garlic in here. I get that. But the elephant garlic skin is a lot thicker, where these are much thinner. They're fine. So when these are dehydrated, it's going to be easier for those to pulse and chop up in the food processor. Where the elephant garlic skin is much thicker and it's just not going to get as fine. So I do take the time to peel that. So put these in here. So my food dehydrator did not come with very small holes in here. So I went onto Amazon and I bought these little mesh things here. So that way the garlic and other things I dehydrate won't fall through my grates. And I'll just take my garlic and scoop it onto the tray. And we'll try and spread this out as evenly as we can, so that way everything dehydrates at the same time. Not the other pieces are done and some pieces are still not dry. I'm just gonna grab a bowl and I am just gonna pick out some of the bigger skins that I do see on top. I'm not gonna go too crazy, but if they're easy enough to pick out, why not pick them out? Alright, now that our trays are all done, let's get these out to the dehydrator. I do dehydrate outside because when the garlic starts dehydrating, it does warm up and it will stink up your house like you wouldn't believe. So we do dehydrate outside. This is going to take roughly 8 up to 10 hours. It all depends on your elevation, the humidity that's in the air. Ours usually takes closer to that 10 hours for whatever reason. So let's get these outside and get it going. Alright, now that our trays are loaded up, I'm going to get the dehydrator turned on. We're going to set it to 125 degrees, and we'll set the timer for 10 hours. So after that 10 hours, the dehydrator will turn off. I'm not concerned that I'm going to overcook or over-dehydrate my garlic. It does feel humid today, and our garlic always takes longer to dehydrate. Okay, so it's the following day. Our garlic was dehydrating for 10, maybe even that kind of 11th hour mark. So it didn't finish last night until like almost midnight. So today is a fresh day. Garlic's all ready, so we're gonna pull this out. I have a baking sheet here. I'm gonna put all the trays of garlic up on here so I can carry it in the house without possibly risking garlic kind of falling off, going through like the little cracks of the mesh trays that I have, because we don't want to waste all that. So let's get to it. Look at all that garlic. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And we'll take our little tray of garlic here, kind of fold it in. I rub the sides together a little bit, kind of loosens off the garlic from the mesh trays. This particular garlic seems a lot more oily than our past garlic. So you know how garlic has that stickiness to it, and when you're cutting it or you're cooking with it, it has that stick to it. So that doesn't go away when you dehydrate it. The moisture's gone, but that oil is still there. So that's what's causing it to stick to this mesh liner here. Look at all that garlic. Oh my goodness, this smells so, so good. So I'm just gonna break it up with my hands, kind of see what it all feels like. See if I can break up some of these little garlic wrappers that we left on here. Alright, I think this looks good. I'm going to get the Vitamix blender out. We'll get this chopped up a little bit more finely before we put it into our mason jars. Okay, now that our garlic is done being pulsed, you'll see that I was pulsing the blender versus just letting it continuously run. So I've learned in the past, if you let it continuously run, the garlic in here that's spinning around all crazy generates warmth and heat. So those oils that are in that garlic warm up and they start sticking even more. So they're gonna start clumping. It starts kind of clumping at the bottom where the blades are at the bottom of the blender here, and then they don't come around and chop up more. So I've learned that you need to kind of pulse the blender so it keeps everything nice and loose and powdery and not clumping together. I also tried a different trick this year as well from my Googling I did, is I added some Himalayan salt to my blender before I put my garlic in. I've been told from what I was reading that that salt will help kind of absorb any type of oils, not necessarily moisture, because we don't have moisture in there, but it'll help absorb that oil that's in there, so it helps prevent clumping as well. So we're gonna find out once we open this blender if that worked, because I've always had clumping, some clumping at the bottom of the blender, even with that pulsing that I've done. All right, let's see what we got. Look at that. I don't know if you can see inside. There is so little clumping down there, and literally I just can brush it with my fingers and it came right off. So I can't even call it clumping. There's like nothing left. Okay, salt is a really good trick I'm just discovered. This is not like powder like what you buy in the grocery store. There's still, you know, clumps in here. I have in the past filtered it out through like a mesh filter, where I've had true powder in a mason jar, and then I've had garlic granules. And I found that I use them both equally. There's not really one way or the other that I use powder versus small little granules. So this year I'm not going to sift it out. I'm just going to put right into mason jars with this type of powder and little granules in it. I'm also going to do one of these moisture absorbers in each jar, just in case there's moisture in there. We do still have quite a bit of humidity here in Wisconsin. Even though it's now October 1st, we still have humidity, and humidity can also cause garlic to clump up. So here is our dried garlic for this harvest. If you found this interesting, give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!